Hello, everyone. Welcome to Campus Connection. This week we are unlive, coming to you recorded due to some technical issues. So we're sorry about that. We always love to be live with everyone, but as you can see, we have a very, very special guest with us today, and I will introduce him in just a moment. First, I just wanted to kind of say a couple words as we're approaching the end of the spring semester. This was a challenging one for a lot of us, I know, but you are 1 week away from the official end of the semester. So finish strong. One of the things that I love so much about our Philadelphia campus students is the dedication and the determination and the focus that you all come in with into your programs, and the dedication to the field that you're working in. And I'm sure you've heard people talk about, what is your why? When you're trying to accomplish a goal or you're trying to do something hard, remember your why. And I think our students come in with such a strong why, and that's what gets you through times like these. That's what gets you through, the normal having to work and do field hours and do classwork and manage families and all of that stuff. That is hard. So don't forget your why now as we approach the finish line, and finish strong. So just wanted to say that. And then of course to the class of 2020, you guys, I feel for you. I know this is not what you thought it was going to look like, but remember that your accomplishments and this achievement of earning your degree is not measured by a commencement ceremony. It's not measured by graduation parties. It's measured by the work that you have put in and all that you have done over the past, however many years it's taken. So, I really encourage you to celebrate now. There will be a commencement ceremony eventually, but celebrate now in whatever ways you can. If that means getting on a Zoom call with your fellow graduates in your caps and gowns and having a virtual party and throwing those caps in the air, do it. Write yourself a letter and tell yourself how proud you are of yourself and what things are looking like now. Consider it like a time capsule, because this is a moment in history that, will be really interesting to reflect on later. So don't lose the pride and the celebration just because there aren't ceremonies and parties and those sorts of things. So, we are certainly proud of each and every one of you. We know that this is tough, but you've done something amazing. You're going to go on to do more amazing things, and we're so excited and happy and proud of all of you. So that was just my rambling message to kick us off here as we approach the end of the spring semester. Feel free. If anybody else wants to add to that, feel free. Okay, so I will now go ahead and introduce somebody who has experienced Westchester University in Philadelphia graduation. He is a alumnus of our BSW program, class of 2017. I'll introduce Hank Owens.
Thank you.
So Hank graduated BSW in 2017, and I think a lot of things have changed for him since then. I certainly was saying, I can't believe it's been that long. I feel like it was just yesterday. I remember him on campus, and I love that you've stayed in touch with us and are kind of kicking off this alumni network. I'm hoping we'll get larger and more involved. So yeah, if you don't mind just telling us a little bit about life after graduation, kind of what you've been up to, how your education, the social work degree has kind of impacted things since then.
So if I can address the first question, life after graduation. Life after graduation for me was an extension of my internship. So I had the opportunity of interning with my current employer, and during my internship, I will share this. It was not a place, and I'm sure some other students can identify with this. It wasn't a place of my choice. I did not want to be there. Already had worked in the drug and alcohol field and recovery. That was not something that I wanted to do. And my passion was really working with youth. Well, being at the right place at the right time, as I graduated from Westchester, the agency that I work for, which is PROACT, by the way, they received a grant to extend services to the youth in recovery. So I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And immediately upon my graduation, they hired me full time and to actually coordinate and to run the program myself. So that was a big change for me. Usually, you know, when you start in the work field, you're working under someone and they're teaching you the ropes. Well, this is a nonprofit grassroots organization that I work for, and they don't work like that. They received the grant, they gave the grant to me and told me to make it happen. So,
No pressure, right?
right, no pressure at all. So, and everything happened really uh, at warp speed for me. After graduating, became an employee of PROACT, the early intervention program. From there, in a year's time, I became the supervisor of the program. And while being a supervisor and working there, I went on to grad school. Immediately upon graduating from grad school, I informed my employer that I was going to leave to pursue other endeavors. Well, they told me to consider becoming the director of Philly PROACT. And I'm going into I'm in my first, at the end of my first fiscal quarter. So I've been doing this now approximately 1 year. So immediately, right upon graduation, intern, employer, running my own program, to supervisor of that program, to now the director. So, and I can't take a lot of credit personally, but the education was key. Deciding to go to Westchester, because Westchester, I have interns from several different schools. When I interned at PROACT, there were 4 or 5 interns from Westchester. Westchester interns are, and I'm not saying this as an alumnus, but the way we are prepared academically, it is seamless. The transformation is seamless into once we start working. Um, and agencies see this. And we are, and now being a field supervisor, I see it. We are prepared differently. You know, our attention to details, the academics, and the professors, the way the professors bring that part to academics from their experiences to the academic knowledge that we get in the classroom. It makes the transition from students to working in the work field very seamless. It's almost effortless. There's no issues, no problems at all. So also being a student in grad school and seeing how my senior year, you guys' senior year, you are actually doing grad work. So the transition from my senior year to grad school, everything I did in grad school, I was super prepared. In fact, grad school was so easy because of the preparedness I got from Westchester. Um, it almost as if my senior year, I could have graduated with a graduate degree. The work, what we did at Westchester was very, very, very. It almost mirrored what I had to do at Rutgers. So, like in my journey, things are still moving so fast. So just understand that my agency is in 5 counties. Philadelphia County is the largest county. So again, you know, Marcy, you alluded to no pressure. I have the biggest county that I have to oversee with 4 or 5 programs under it. So coming from Westchester, there was a part of me that didn't think I was really prepared for what I was being asked to do. And I'm just thankful that I chose to go to Westchester. And I happened to get to Westchester by accident. my first choice was Springfield because I had been so many years out of CCP. I wanted to go through accelerated program. And I'm so glad I didn't take that route because I don't think I would have had the preparedness to do exactly what I'm doing now. I know I would. And I have friends that actually go to Springfield and come to find out it's not a clinical, they don't have a clinical program. So again, and had I took that route, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm so thankful and gracious that I had the opportunity to go to Westchester because that was, without the foundation that Westchester gave me, I really don't think I'd be prepared to do what I'm doing. So, and this is why it's so important for me to be part of Westchester as an alumnus, because I think some of the experiences that I have could help future and current class of 2020 students in their transition, and
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that you're approaching this now with so many different perspectives. You've gone through this circle of like starting there as an intern, and now you've just kind of shot up the ladder, and now you're supervising interns from Westchester, which is so great. And
when I became the director, that was the first thing I did. I came to see Miss Kelly. There's another Miss Kelly there. She was the first person I came to see as soon as I got this position, because I was the last. 2017 was the last time we had Westchester. We had any interns. We had it because we were in. The agency was in transition. My position went unfilled for over a year, so we didn't have any interns. But as soon as I got the position, Westchester was the first place I came, and they are very integral into what we do. The students are in the school district facilitating groups to youth. They are facilitating recovery groups inside the center. So they are actually doing work that our staff do. So, and they are very intricate in what we do. We are peer-to-peer delivery system. So interns are very important in what we do. And without the interns, we couldn't do as effective and efficiently what we do at the center. So
that's awesome.
Hank, I think I can speak for all of us that knew you as a student and say that your success is not surprising.
Right.
You worked really hard, and it's exciting to hear what you've done. I have a question for you, though. I was thinking, as a supervisor, do you have any advice for students in our programs now who are interns and are finishing up this semester and thinking about future internships in the fall? And of course, there's some uncertainty still about exactly what those will look like in terms of the hybrid structure, online work, telecommuting, I should say. Have you learned anything as a supervisor in the past few months about the kinds of skill sets and responsibilities that our students should be thinking about in internships if they are telecommuting, if they are working from home, navigating all this sort of the challenges of our new world that we find ourselves in?
Well, let me just start with this. So, and I don't want to turn this into church, but I think that our pathways have already been laid out. And if we continue on the pathway that has been laid out for us, it becomes very easy in what we do. Like I said, I had no idea, I had no intentions of working in or becoming an employee of PROACT. But what I did was I maximized the opportunity while I was there. Social work is social work. It don't matter what setting you're in, whether you like that setting or not. That was the mindset I went in with. No matter where I'm at, whether I want to be there or not, I'm going to maximize the opportunity that's presented. And in doing so, taking that professional approach, the accountability approach as opposed to the victim approach. Why did I get this assignment? This is not where I wanted to be. Why is this happening to me? The opposite approach is the accountability approach. All right, so what is this teaching me? Why am I here? I'm here for a reason. So having that understanding, and then just applying my academic knowledge and then what was always exhibited by the staff on the Philly campus, that professionalism, the ethics, accountability, that mission mindset. You know, we are here to get an education, and that education sometimes is painful. It ain't always pleasant. But just taking in and maximizing everything that comes with it, because one of the things that sometimes that the students will face is that they won't be in the clinical setting. I was in a non-traditional, clinical whole setting. So, you know, as social workers, we work in whole settings, adhering to the social work core values and ethics, not conforming to the people who were employing me, also stood out, because what I found a lot of agencies want is exactly what we bring to the table. They don't necessarily want us to conform. They want to incorporate what we've learned into what they do. And one of the things I learned about my internship that's very important is the engagement piece. So in non-clinical settings, somebody can come to the door. They're not directed to a therapist or a doctor or a psychologist. Sometimes our center is also a drop-in place. So the engagement piece is what puts people, it starts to access people into the services that are available. So understanding the system that we are in, or as an internship that you are in, incorporating the social work core values and ethics and the knowledge that you have, and maximizing the opportunity from a social work perspective that opportunities that's presented, I think is the biggest advice that I can give any student, because it's not going to be, communication is very important. A lot of students can't, well, I'm just being honest. There were students that were interned at the same place with me, but because it wasn't a clinical setting, they didn't go in with the mindset as, I'm going to maximize this opportunity and make the best of it. You know, this is where I wanted to be, and they had some issues with it. So for some of the students, this may be, you may find yourself in this situation. So just understand that sometimes it's not about what you want, but if you are a person that is spiritually led, it's about where he places you, and you're there for a reason. Sometimes that reason is very uncomfortable.
That's good advice.
Yeah. Yeah, man, Hank, you're welcome to take it to church with that message. That was awesome. I mean, and I think that's a really relevant message just in general these days, right? Is to have that, you know, the accountability, or the, you know, not the victim mentality, but okay, so what are the positive things? What am I learning from this? You know, what is this doing for me? Right. And all of those things. But yeah, and I agree. I think there are definitely students who are not thrilled with the placement. They have an idea in their mind of what they want to do, exactly, who they want to work with. But anything can be a stepping stone. Everything is a learning opportunity, and also interest change. I mean, I've talked to many students that thought they wanted one thing going in, and then turned out they want something completely different after they've had some experiences. So that's a fantastic.
That was another thing too. Every year, every semester, what I want to do was changing. So to be honest with you, even though I said I wanted to do something because I thought that was my comfort zone, working with youth, I've developed other skills since I got out of that comfort zone. And a lot of those skills you don't know you have until you are placed outside your comfort zone. It just makes for a well-rounded person, social worker. It just makes us complete, more complete.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great point.
Hank, I truly appreciate your message and, you know, how it relates to our Philadelphia location, our Philadelphia students. But, you know, this is what makes my job as a recruiter so easy, because we have incredible alumni who can just come and speak to the rigor in the program, how well our professors and our support staff and everyone from faculty to staff are standing in administration or standing behind our students. The detail that we even take to, you know, developing our and I guess, creating our programs, the curriculum. One thing to note about our BSW program is that we're one of the only programs in the area that gives a junior year field placement as well. So that's an increased rigor. That's another opportunity for our students to get a little bit of a test taste in the field. Maybe perhaps that one semester in that junior year field, you're learning something, but then you're getting increased experience in that senior year concentrated year. So our students are automatically given a rigorous program that is going to prepare them in multiple settings, even prior to graduation. And so it feels so rewarding just to hear you speak. I feel like my day and my job is done at the end of the day, just speaking and hearing from fantastic alumni like you. I appreciate this message.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So Hank, I'm sure, in living through the times we are now with COVID-19, I'm sure like all of us, you've had to make some adjustments. Things have changed in a lot of ways. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you are staying positive and kind of taking care of yourself, both, mentally, amidst all of this?
So, as you know, we are communal people. Isolation is not something that we are accustomed to. So, also have been diagnosed with clinical depression maybe a year ago. There were some extra things, self-care things that I had to implement so that I can stay healthy to help those who are struggling, especially with addiction. Well, during this time is very hard. So for me, number one, adhering to the protocols. Early on, the myth was Black people are not, people of color are not getting COVID-19. It's not affecting us. Those are some of the myths early on. I bought into it. Thinking and having an understanding that it's not airborne. So why wear the mask and so many, so many other things. I just had to decided that whatever the protocols are, those are the protocols I'm going to adhere to. A lot of the services that our agency delivers is face to face. So learning how to do what we do face to face through telehealth. The demographic that we serve don't have access to Wi-Fi, may not have computers. Their phones are limited if they have the government phones, so their minutes are limited. So learning how to navigate these barriers and still provide service was one of the things that, and I had to get training too on how to host a Zoom and control the Zoom. So doing a group face-to-face is completely different than doing a group on Zoom. So just learning how that, all those pieces, getting used to putting apps on my phone so that when someone calls the office, my extension rings to my personal phone. And being able to call from my personal phone to people that I service without giving out my number, but there's an app for that. So learning all these little things to be able to provide services to the community and do it very effectively. So there are some people, and I'm not saying, across the board, all people don't, that we service don't have computers or can't put the app on their smartphone, but also training them into how to access the groups through their phone and their computer. So those are just some of the adaptations. From administrative perspective, we are funded by DBHIDS in the city. So we are put in positions where now we have to account for the hours, very detailed, what we are doing. When we're in the office, that wasn't required. Also having an understanding, because of my experiences, there are other staff that work under me where working from home is not an advantage for them. It's very hard for them. As I said earlier, we have a peer-to-peer delivery system. So we help people who are in recovery. Those individuals who are being helped are being serviced and supported by individuals who also in recovery themselves. So being able to be supportive and understanding and putting people in positions where and providing the support to support them while they're going through this. So just learning all these little, nuances and new ways of providing services and coming up, adhering and understanding new criteria for me doing my job and helping the staff be effective and efficient in their jobs. Those are some of the things that I'm really learning. So one of the things you asked me, and I want to digress a little bit about life after graduation. I had been in school, and I'm sure some of the students have been in school since CCP came right to Westchester. We've been in school for 4 to 6 years. I'm sorry, for 2 to 6 years, depending on where you come in. That is a lot of time where you are, your time is already regimented and what you're going to do, where you're going to be at. When I graduated from school, that block of education, all of a sudden I had to find out how I'm feeling. What am I do? It was a big adjustment for me. And not depressing, but just not knowing where to go and work is one thing, but what do I do after work now? I don't have to study. I don't have no papers to do. What do I do now? So I am a task-oriented person, and school has really made me like that. So finding other projects, other things to do that enhances me as a social worker was one of the things that really helped me after graduation. But that is a huge block of time. There's a huge block of time where you have to account for and find something to do. So I just wanted, and that's also part of self-care as well, because that loss of time can almost, depending on your makeup and whatever issues you may already have, we all have issues, that loss of time, we can find ourselves lost or really give up. School is very exhausting. And I would encourage anyone, if you can, if you're going to graduate school, if you can, continue straight through. Continue. You're already on the track. Continue straight through.
Yeah, use that momentum. I agree. I mean, if you can handle it without a break, keep that momentum going and get through. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing all that with us. I think, we have so many students and alumni who are on the front lines right now and are working in professions that are hard at a normal time, and even more so now. And so, I hope everybody is taking care of themselves and taking, your own physical and mental well-being as seriously as those you're serving. So just the final question, Hank, we're approaching the end of an academic year, the spring semester. Do you have any words for our class of 2020?
Well, let me say this. You are embarking or about to embark on a great, it's a great time to be a social worker. We are definitely needed at all levels. All the levels, the micro, meso, macro are interconnected and interdependent of one another. Whether it's the pandemic, before it was the pandemic, it was, and not to turn this into political, it was services being cut. How do we access or how do we get people access to the services? Being advocates. This is a great time to be a supervisor. This is a great time to be a social worker. So I just encourage everyone to just be open and dive in and no matter where you are, what field you are working in, social work is social work. There's a lot of great work we can do. I also think that as social workers working in agencies where they're hosting the professional social work, I think we are models. They don't have a lot of agencies or personnel in the agencies don't have the ability to connect with people the way that we do. This is a requirement, especially with that generalist model. That's very important. Those 7 steps are very, very important. So a lot of agencies don't do that. You know, the engagement piece and have the skills that we have. A lot of agencies are not money driven, but or concentrating on the fiscal year. You know, making deliverables. We are more as social workers. It is our responsibility not so much to concentrate on that, just that we touch and help as many people as we possibly can. So wherever you find yourself working, what we bring to an agency is valued. And if you can mirror or do very similar to what I did, continue with your education, go to grad school, we are the ones that they want us to be supervisors because of the skill set and education that we have. We can learn the fiscal piece. We are social workers before. The reason why we got into social work is because we have always been social workers. We just didn't have the degree. So what we bring personally, and then we academically we gain, and then we take that into the professional world. You can't give what we have. A person just can't acquire what we have personally that made us to get in the social worker field in the first place. So we have that plus the academic knowledge, and then we transfer that into the professional world. So we are, and I hate to say it, but we are special. So just own it, you know, embrace it, and I just pray that everyone, and I'm sure everyone will, coming from Westchester, I'm sure everyone will flourish and do great work.
Thank you, Hank. Yeah, I mean, and I think part of that goes back to the strength of the why, right? I mean, like you
Yes.
said, it's y'all come in with this focus and this dedication, and you know, just hang on to that. And I agree. I think all of our alumni have the potential to do just phenomenal things in this world. Man, Hank, you lit the show on fire today.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say after that. So I'm so grateful for you being here today with us, and for just staying connected with the university and being committed to kind of serving our, you know, current students as an alumnus, and just that's fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Hank.
I don't have much to add, just a quick plug for, you may have seen on Facebook, on the Westchester page, or on our page, the kind of advertisement of Westchester Zoom backgrounds. So a few Philadelphia campus ones have been added just this morning. So check those out. There'll be a link in tomorrow's announcements. But you know, if you want a little familiarity, you want to show your Philly campus pride, check those out. And I think that's pretty much it. You know, there'll be some other reminders in the announcements tomorrow. So make sure you open it, read it. Let me know if you have any questions. Ben, Kelly, anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
Just quickly, I want to thank students who have come to our Zoom co-working sessions the last 2 weeks. We have one more week coming up where you can stop in between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. If you're working on a final or have another project at the end of the semester you'd like to have a second set of eyes on, or you'd like to meet with some peers and work on that together on Zoom, and have myself or one of the grad assistants that work in the Success Center there to help you, please stop in. The information is in the announcements, the Zoom information, I should say. So stop on in. Again, next Monday through Thursday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. we'll be on Zoom. And I just want to remind you, if you stop in, you're entered in to win a gift card. So you should swing by.
And as for me, of course, as always, if you are ready to enroll in our programs, to learn more about the accredited programs that we have at our convenient location in Philadelphia, please give me a call or send me an email. My information is listed in this in the comments section, and also it'll be on our website at WCU Philly. So look forward to hearing more from you all. That's it for me.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to anyone who watched. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and we'll make sure we check on them and follow up. And we'll see you next week, same time with an MSW alum. Have a great Friday, great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care.